Hey guys, it's Ethan here. Today I'm doing a little bit of a different video. Decided to do a tutorial video. So from the feedback I've been getting on my Instagram stories of the little tips I've been doing, I decided to go more in depth into some of the things I've been talking about. So today I want to talk about drum bus compression and how I go about parallel processing my drums. So to start off with, we've got a little drum loop here that I recorded myself about a year and a half ago, something like that. We've got kick in, kick out, snare top and bottom, overhead left, right, and a mono overhead. So let me quickly play that loop for you. I'll play the loop unprocessed, and then I'll play the processed loop, and we'll talk about how we got there. So you can hear the before and after. It really opens up the drum kit, gives a lot more energy and excitement, and a little bit more sparkle on the overheads. So firstly, let's say you've already processed your individual elements. So I've just done like basic EQing, gating and stuff on the kick and snare. I've done a little bit of light compression on the kick and snare, which is just taking the load off the main bus compressor, which is what I spoke about in one of my short videos. So let's talk about the drum bus processing first. So firstly, let me switch off all my parallels. Right, so firstly, I got an API 2500 compressor, and I use this compressor just to achieve glue. So this is just to glue the whole drum kit together more and to make it more consistent. So when I spoke about glue in my videos, you know it's a slow attack, a slow release, and a low ratio. This is a very low ratio, 1.5 to 1. It's not doing more than 1.5, 2 dBs of gain reduction, but it's just gluing the whole drum kit together more. So if I'll bypass these other two plugins, and I'll bring in that compression and I'll switch it on and off, and you can see the difference it makes. Just concentrate on how it glues the whole drum kit together more. Right, so this is without, and then I'll bring it in. So you can see it's just making it a little bit more consistent, and it's not doing anything crazy. If I open it up and hit play, it's really light compression. But like as a mixing engineer, your job is to do a lot of little subtle things that aren't too drastic most of the time as well. So after that, I've got a API 550B EQ. And this is adding a bit of 10K to bring out the sparkle in the overheads. Bit of 1.5K to bring out some of that mid-range energy and to help enforce the crack on the snare as well. And after that, I've got some tape saturation. This is the J37 tape saturation plugin. And this is just bringing out some of those nice elements in the drum kit and just beefing it up a bit. So I'm using a preset on this. I don't know what your opinions are on presets, but I absolutely love this preset. Use it all the time. It's called Mastering Fat, Tight and Open. And yeah, it sounds great. So let me show you the whole drum bus processing, and I'll switch it off and on and bring it in, and you can see the difference of how the drum kit opens up. It sounds more glued together, and it's more consistent and has more energy. So I'll start with without, and then I'll bring it in. So you can see as well, it's bringing the drum kit forward as well. And this is something I really like to do. I like in the placement of a mix, I like to choose where I imagine it like a stage, and I want to choose where on the stage I bring things so that each element has its own space in the mix. So next, let's talk about the parallel processing. So first I've got a DBX 160, and this is my kick and snare parallel. So if you guys aren't Ableton users, I am, don't judge. This is like a bus in Logic or an aux in Pro Tools. So I'm just sending a copy of my kick and snare to this parallel. It's being processed, and it's being sent to the mix bus separately at very low. I've got it set at -20. So the kick and snare are going to this DBX 160. It's doing about 10 dBs of gain reduction, but the ratio is at 4 to 1. And I'll bring this in and just concentrate on how consistent the kick and snare are. So it makes them really, really consistent. It works really well. Next thing is my DBX Pultec parallel. So this is just to control the low end. So I'm sending the kick to this, and this is just making the sub frequencies in the kick a lot more consistent as well. So obviously drummers are humans, they're not going to hit the kick drum the exact same way every time. So this really helps to let the low end stay and be consistent. I'm going to play this in solo just so you can hear what's going on. But yeah, so this is 10:1 ratio, again 10 dBs of gain reduction. And I am boosting quite a lot at 60 Hertz, but I'm also attenuating. So if you guys know about Pultecs, you'll know that the boost and attenuation curve is different. So this is why it really helps. I really like the curve, whatever it's doing. I really like how it controls the low end, and it's almost like you have the control over the low end on a fader that you can also ride if you wanted to during a mix. Yeah, so I'll play this in solo just so you hear what's going on this DBX 160 Pultec parallel. So you can hear it's just got like a solid low end to the kick, and there's not a lot of top end going on. So having that in a parallel is really nice. So this one's really subtle. So if you just concentrate on the low end of the kick and how consistent it is, and I'll bring it in. So yeah, it's just bringing out that low end sub and punch at the kick. And next we have a classic, I'm compressing the whole drum kit, parallel compressing the whole drum kit with an 1176, ratio 4:1. The attack is at the slowest, the release is at the fastest. So you have to remember with an 1176, the attack and release is the wrong way around. So normally this would be the fastest, but on 1176 it's the opposite. So 1 is the slowest, 7 is the fastest. Again, this is really low in the mix. This is minus 26. And I'll bring this in, and this is just bringing the whole drum kit forward and giving it more energy. You can hear as well that it's adding to the separation of the elements. So like when I brought it in, you can hear the hi-hat more clearly, the cymbals have their own space, and it's not just the kick and snare dominating on everything because they're so loud. The final one, this is a fun one. So this is Soundtoys Devil Lock, and this is basically just messing everything up. It's creating distortion, and it's bringing out the room tone in the overhead mics as well. And this really helps to make the whole drum kit sound bigger. I really enjoy this one. This one's like a little secret nugget of mine. So yeah, definitely try this out. You can take a little screenshot of the settings. And yeah, so I'm sending the whole drum kit to this. I'll play it in solo so you can hear how messed up it really is. When you bring it in on parallel really low, it's really nice to just help the whole drum kit sound bigger. And it also helps to bring out the little details and nuances between every drum hit, which makes the drums fill out the space more in a mix. So this is the, well, I call it crunch. This is the crunch parallel on its own in solo, so you can just hear what it's doing. So yeah, you can hear how messed up it is, right? But in context, it works so well. So I'm going to play the loop again, and I will bring in that parallel so you can hear what it does. And just concentrate on the details in the gaps between every drum hit. See what I mean? Especially on like the snare hits, it's really like opening it up, and it's making the snare sound bigger, and it's making the cymbals sound more interesting as well. So yeah, one more time, let's play the totally unprocessed drums and we'll play what we've got now. So this is totally unprocessed drums and I will switch over to the processed drums. So yeah, that's my drum bus processing and my parallel processing. I use these techniques all the time. I use them on electronic drums as well, not only acoustic drums. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Get in the comments if you have any questions, and there'll be more videos like this soon. Don't forget to check out my Instagram, Ethan Ramsey Music. I do little tips and tricks on there all the time as well, little short videos. So be sure to have a look at them. And I've been Ethan Ramsey. See you later.